Hi everyone, Carolyn here. Just wanted to check in with you today. I feel like checking in with you through these videos is a good habit for me to get into because it keeps me motivated to kind of take steps with regard to my transition regularly, and because I want to have things to kind of, even if they're just small things, I like to have things that I can say that I'm doing just to kind of move forward a little bit at a time. So in the past few days, I think I mentioned a few days ago that I was going to reach out to a service that might be able to assist me with regard to getting getting facial feminization surgery, perhaps at maybe a lower price than other surgeons that I've consulted with might. So I talked to a representative of this organization, which has some, the organization itself has some good testimonials, some good, some people who I respect and who have had, anyway, have dealt with them and have had very positive results. So yeah, I'm just, seeing what my options are, feeling things out, because as I've said, I with a decision as huge and as expensive as facial feminization surgery, you don't want to, you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of the best option that's available to you. And money is very much an object for me and a concern, so I do feel like I want to be very thorough in investigating the options that are available, and finding the best one that I can potentially afford. So anyway, I talked to a representative from this group, sent some photos, and obviously, they're going to show them to kind of surgeons that they deal with, get some recommendations from those surgeons and some price figures and things like that, and we'll see where we're at and kind of move forward from there. But just that I reached out, that I sent those photos in and everything, and that things are happening there, feels like it's something that I've done. The other just kind of thing that I did that felt good was that I went to the theater last night, and I dressed more kind of openly feminine than I usually do, and it wasn't to please anyone but myself. I wanted to sort of take advantage of an opportunity. You're going to the theater to maybe get dressed up a little bit, so I wore a skirt and stuff, and I was a little nervous, but after I was there for a little bit, I kind of forgot about it, and I never felt unsafe. It was a short trip there and back, and it's a theater in Berkeley, California. So I felt like the crowd there, I was not going to be probably threatened by anyone there or anything like that. And so anyway, it was a good opportunity for me to do that, and I did it, and I'm glad that I did. And I want to stop. I want to start being less driven by fear and decisions like that, and more often doing the things that I want to do. So yeah. With regards to taking those photos for the to send for the facial feminization surgery consultation, you have to take photos both from from the front end as well as from different angles, and I'm very used to seeing myself head on. When I look in a mirror, I see myself facing forward, and I'm used to seeing myself looking directly into my own eyes. And when I see myself that way, I'm comfortable with that view. I see me, I I see the woman that I am looking back at me. You know, I've gotten used to that view, and I'm comfortable with it. But what's a little different is seeing my face from the side, and it's not that I ever forget that I have these kind of, I guess what would be normally, you know, described as kind of mannish features, very strong jawline, and, you know, kind of strong brow and things like that. I mean, I never am not aware of that. I am, and that's part of why I'm pursuing FFS the way that I am. But you know, taking the photos like that, it kind of, and then looking at them, it just is a bit of a kind of emotionally painful reminder of, oh yeah, you know, this is sort of what people see every day when they look at me, and that it's just that it stirs up the gender dysphoria that, you know, I carry inside me all the time. It's usually, for me, you know, my gender dysphoria right now for the past few years, or, you know, has been this sad weight that, you know, I'm always kind of carrying around inside me. It's always there. I'm always aware of it, but it's usually kind of flat emotionally. But occasionally things will happen that, as if it's a sort of a sleeping animal, things will happen that kind of rouse it and make the pain more kind of spiky, you know, kind of jagged and just, yeah, sharp and more pronounced and harder to just keep in the background, I guess. And, you know, seeing my face from different angles is one, you know, a thing that does that a little bit. Anyway, but yeah, you know, I'm optimistic that I'll be able to have facial feminization surgery sometime in 2013. That is kind of a, you know, that's a goal that I've set for myself. I mean, so I'm hoping to have things kind of nailed down with regard to a surgeon and everything, you know, at some point within the next few months. But, you know, we'll see. But it's, you know, at least by having that goal and keeping that in mind, it keeps me kind of taking steps forward and moving toward that. Speaking of things like facial, you know, feminization surgery and stuff like that, there's a video that's been making the rounds the past couple of days on YouTube. I mean, well, it's on YouTube. It's been making the rounds on blogs and the Huffington Post and, you know, Facebook. People are sharing it a lot, things like that. It's a transformation video of, you know, made by a transgender woman. If you want to see it yourself, the profile, the YouTube channel is like Roman numeral 2 Geth 2. So Roman numeral 2 Geth, Roman numeral 2, or II Geth II. Geth being a reference to the Mass Effect video games, which is pretty cool. And basically, it's like 1,000 pictures taken, you know, like maybe one a day or so, I don't know, over a period of days and weeks and months and years. And it shows from, you know, very early transition to kind of recently, and how kind of, you know, how dramatic, I mean, how gradual but ultimately dramatic that sort of transformation was. I'm glad that it's getting the attention that it is, I think, because I mean, it's not, the video itself. I mean, transformation videos like that are nothing new. So I guess for me as a trans person, it's like a lot of people are responding to it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's great and all, it's cool, but, you know, I've seen stuff like that before, but I guess, you know, the larger population hasn't really thought much about these things in general, like how hormones affect the appearance of a you know, transitioning transgender woman, for instance, And it's good, I think, for awareness about that to develop. I think that there's still a lot of people out there who have perceptions that transgender women all look a certain way, and that videos like this help to dispel that. And also, I mean, I think back to my pre-transition days, and as superficial and problematic as it is, and I'm not entirely comfortable admitting things like this and talking about them, but I've sort of decided, for the sake of these videos, that it's better if I kind of admit my feelings, even if they are not always, even if I'm aware that they are, problematic in one way or another. But for me, when faced with, before I knew about what hormones could do and that facial feminization surgery existed and could get really good results and things like that, and I was faced with, if I was faced with the sort of choice between, even though I knew completely in my heart and mind and had agonized over it since being a very, very young person, even if I knew that I was and am female, as I do. I mean, I do know that. But if I had to choose between the life of where people saw me as a male who identified as male, or people seeing me as a male who identified as female, I probably would have chosen the former. At least when I was 23, 24, 25, I thought, that's how I felt, and I think my feelings have changed about that over the years. But nonetheless, initially, I mean, seeing videos and just kind of before and after photos and things like that of women who had transitioned and how hormones and FFS had helped them transition, that was hugely encouraging for me, because I was at a point where I thought, oh my God, my face is just so mannish, and I'll never pass, do I want to transition if I can't pass? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know if I can deal with that. I don't know if I'm brave enough. I don't know if that's the life that I want to live. I mean, I just don't know. So anyway, yeah. So seeing those photos and things like that, and having that awareness brought to me was hugely motivating. So I'm glad that this video is getting that kind of awareness, and I hope that it kind of fosters that it's a small step in just creating a world where young people who are trans know that transition is an option for them, and that they can create the life for themselves that they want to live. That it's possible, that it's within reach, and that there's reason to not be hopeless and to not despair. So I see videos like this, and it is a complex mixture of emotions that I feel. On one hand, I feel very much I feel like a cheerleader. Like, yes, that's you go, girl. That is so awesome. You look at you, like, live in an authentic life, and kind of get to that point where you are going to be just perceived as a woman, as the woman you are, and and move on, and more power to you. And then there's a little bit of the flip side of that, of where it just kind of and this is where, again, I'm kind of admitting a feeling that I know isn't right, but it's there. There's a little bit of this feeling of, oh my God, I'm so glad that it's becoming more and more possible for people to transition when they're younger, but oh my god, I wish that I could have transitioned, or started my transition when I was like 18, 20, 21, 22, like a lot of women in these videos are doing, because it's not jealousy, it's not, I don't want to take anything away from any of them, that would not help me in any way. It's just more, it's more that kind of mourning, or that like feeling of just, the years that I spent not living an honest life and not really being in a position where I felt I could actively pursue an honest life and an authentic life. I feel like there's a lot of time that, for one reason or for so many reasons, it was sort of wasted, and that's a sad thing. But having said that, I mean, as I move forward with my transition now, and as things like facial feminization surgery become more and more realistic possibilities, and not just like pipe dreams, but are starting to become these kind of concrete things that I feel like I will actually be able to reach out and do in the relatively near future. Even though I'll be in my mid to late 30s at least by the time that this is all over, it still is easier for me to live in the moment and to stop lamenting the things that are in the past and that I can't change, and to focus on living my life now and making that as honest and authentic and just happy as possible. Living a life where I am more comfortable in my own skin, where I'm comfortable in my associations with other people, where I feel like I am living my own life, not the life that other people expected me, to live, or being the person that other people expected me to be. Anyway, I feel like I've been rambling for a while, and I really honestly don't know if I said much of anything. I mean, it's, it feels good for me to kind of just verbalize this stuff and get it out. I hope that if you take the time to watch these, I hope that you find some value in them as well. I do appreciate you watching and taking an interest in my transition. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. I'd be happy to answer most questions, I think, that people might have. And thanks for watching. I'll have another update, I'm sure, real soon. So I'll see you then, and have a good night.